Alrighty, y'all. So it is a new month, which is April, and I did ask you guys in a few videos ago if when I do my tier list for this month, should I do it in a format of like just best to worst, or should I just do it of the current meta and sub meta? I feel like this is a lot better because current, as you see here, we have meta, sub meta, good, usable, and rip. I just think it's better like this, just because it helps you guys know who is technically meta and who is sub meta. So it also kind of just tells you the good characters and the bad characters. Because like my whole point is like, yeah, you could have like the top 10 characters, or not have the top 10 characters, but you could have one of the characters in the top 10. But at the end of the day, this is still a team-based game. You're still going to need a team, and you're still going to need other characters who you might not think are good because they're not top 10. You're still going to need their usabilities in order to get far. Like, I mean, to be fair, the top 5 characters in the game are just the team itself. Like, I'm sorry, it is. But, hey, we're going to rank it. So I'm just going to go from sub-meta, good, usable, and rip, right? This is overall, right? So I'll try my best to explain it briefly for everybody. There's some characters I'll just skip over because if they're in rip, I probably just won't explain it. But yeah, let's go. So 2B, I feel like she's usable still. I think she's good in long fights, just because her whole thing is that she has to build up, and she only builds up by using her burst skill realistically, but she's on a 40-second cooldown, so by at least what, the 3rd or 4th or even 5th burst rotation, that and that alone is the only time you're going to actually be getting her stronger. But I do think she's usable. I just don't think she's anywhere near right now, right? I do think A2 is good. I'm not sure if I would put her in the sub meta right now, just because if it was like a few months ago, like maybe anytime last year, before the 2nd anniversary, I would have put her in sub meta because she was still very, very good on the slasher team. That it's a team that I call the slasher team, her and Scarlet Black Shadow, right? Which is still a very good comp, especially with Crown now, and favorite item Helm, right? It's still a very, very good comp. But other than that, I would just put her in good. You're rip. Admi, I feel like is rip. I do feel like this Bunny Alice is a sub meta character. She is one of the better healers in the game, and she's great for multiple things: shotgun team, general healing, and I think just water characters in general, right? So I am gonna put her in sub meta. This Alice is a beast, one of the most strongest characters in the game, can really get you through anything in the game, realistically. Same thing goes with the Summernies, fantastic support, and she's just a powerhouse. She can get you through most content in the game. Actually, every single content in the game she can. I am actually going to put Anne in usable because she's really usable in PvP. And other than that, she's nothing else, right? She's only usable in PvP. I'm not going to give Arya the satisfaction. I am going to put Asuka in meta because she is a meta. She's staple on one of the teams, right? For anomaly interception, which is the fire one. So that I do think Bay is usable. I'm not even gonna put her in good. I do think she's usable, right? If you have her with Biscuit, or if you have her with someone who's supporting her realistically, she is actually going to help you tank, right? So there is that. I am actually going to put this Biscuit in meta, right? It is an overall meta, sub meta, and good like tier list, but this Biscuit is still very usable everywhere. Do people use her in PvP, outside of PvP? Not really, but if you're using her with Bait, it works, right? In PvP, she's so meta, it's actually crazy, right? So I am gonna actually put her there, right? Maybe I should have one separate for PvP and one for PvE. Because that would just make it a lot easier. But for now, we're just gonna do this. Let me know if you guys want one for PvP and one for PvE though, and then in the next one I'll kind of just fix it like that. Blanc is still meta, right? You do need her with Noir or Blanc, but or not Blanc, Noir or Rouge, but she is still meta. I feel like good healer, good sustain, all that stuff. Brit is a rip. Senti is good. Her shield is still good. Her burst generation is still good. Honestly, I could put her in sub meta, right? She's still very good as a burst too. It's just obviously with Crown in the game, a lot of people aren't changing out their burst too. I'm gonna keep it a G. Clay, no. Coco, no. Crow, no. Crown is meta. She's used on every single team. I'm just going to put no for D. She is usable for win bosses, but it's only for the first 15 seconds, and we're in a time in Nikke where that doesn't matter. When it came to the Modernia boss, sure, right? For regular interception, sure, but anomaly interception, she's useless. Diesel, no. D Killer Wife is still meta, one of the best burst 1 characters you can have on your team. Good for cooldown reduction and also good for just general support, right? Dala, I would say is good. I wouldn't say she's sub meta, but she is definitely, I mean, I could put her in sub meta. Like, don't get me wrong, Dala's not like used as much because like I said, with Crown in the game, not many people are switching out their burst 2s, but she is still very powerful. I do think Dorothy is still meta, right? As a burst 1 boss killer, I do think she is still meta, especially with the release of Brady, running Dorothy, Brady, and then like the Master and Anchor to support both of them with distributed damage. I think she's meta. I will put regular Drake in usable. She can still do a bit of damage, but nothing too crazy in my opinion. I will put Ein in sub meta. She is a very powerful DPS. Don't get me wrong, but people are not using her unless you're using her on the electric team, right? And usually she is either the third DPS, like the flex DPS, or she is the like, you know, go to second DPS, right? Eleg I would still put in sub meta. I think a lot of people still use Eleg for bosses. She's just that good. Amelia I'll also put in sub meta. She's still very good in PvP. Got outside of PvP, she's very like very powerful. The only thing is a lot of people just don't use her like that. So I don't know if that really puts her meta, because meta is like how much are they being used? You know what I mean? I personally don't see many people using Amelia, but I do know she's powerful, so I am just gonna put her in the good tier, right? Because it is based on how much people are using them as well. That's what meta basically means. If they're meta means they're being used a lot. So yeah, I am gonna put Emma in sub meta for PvP and nothing else. I'm gonna just put her in good for PvP and nothing else, right? Ipeno no, Inoa no, Exia no, Fulcoin no, Freeman no. Guillotine I will put in sub meta. A lot of people still do use her as that flex burst 3 character. Guilty a lot of people still do use on different teams, right? She's a burst 2 DPS, but people do still use her. Haran I feel like is good still for early on content. Other than that, not really. This Helm I will put her in some meta. Actually I could put her in meta. She's very much a staple in anomaly interception, right? And although that's not every single thing in the game, she's very, very popular. It's the kind of same thing as Ostuka. Like she is meta on that, right? Regular Helm, I'm gonna put in good. I don't think regular Helm is anything too crazy. I'm gonna put her in usable. Like she's not anything too crazy, but it is what it is. You're a rip. I'm gonna put you in meta as well, right? Jackal is a staple in PvP. It's just how it is, right? Kilo, you're gone. Laplace, I'm gonna put in usable, just a good DPS, an optional DPS if you don't have anybody else. The regular one, I mean. I have the favorite item ones down here, right? Leona, usable, shotgun team. Litter is a meta character, the go-to burst one. Ludmilla is a sub-meta character. She is technically a go-to for water DPSs, but obviously now with Brady and Helm and Master Anchor, she, you know, kind of goes down a bit. But obviously, I'm still gonna put her in meta. I think she is. Ludmilla, I think she's usable still, but just nothing too crazy past that point. I'm gonna put you guys all. Oh, Marciano. No, I would put Marciano as good. She's still a go-to healer. I would put Mari in some meta. One of the better burst 2 support you can have on your team. Mary, no. I'm gonna put this summer Mary usable. Like if you asked me about her last year, she would have been higher, but she's just, we've gotten so much healers, it's crazy. She's just falling off. Same thing goes with Mask. Maxwell is still a meta character. Like she's really, the characters who've been here since the beginning of the game like really are testing the time. The fact that they're still relevant, you know what I mean? I'm going to put Mika in rip. You guys can let me know on that one, right? I'm gonna put Miranda in usable. I mean, because even the favorite item is not that crazy, right? So I'm not going to put her in it too high. Modernia, I'll put in sub meta. She's still a go-to. I'm going to put Modernia in meta. She's still a go-to flex burst 3 character. Moran, I'm going to put her in good. She has gone higher, especially with Trina and PvP. Very good. Naga's the same thing. A meta character. Really a go-to. No. You're meta in PvP. Your meta, right, with Blanc. And she just meta in general, right? Noir is just a crazy like burst 3 support. Noise is sub meta. I feel like she's very good in PvP, and people still do put her on a burst 1 on PvE content. But if they're using another burst 1, which is fine, but I personally wouldn't. I do think Novel is still good, right? I just don't think we need her anymore for bosses like we used to. Pepper, I'll put it usable. She's still a healer, but nothing too crazy. Polly's the same thing. She's a decent support, but just not like a go-to. Useless. I still want to put Privity in meta. Like, I think Privity is still a meta character. I don't know if I would put her in sub meta. I would put Privity in meta because she's still one of the best supports you can have. Not like the best, but because she has fallen off a bit, but she's still one of the better ones. Maid Privity, I'll put in like good because she's good on the shotgun team. Quincy, I'll put in usable because people have been finding use for her. Me personally, I haven't, but I have seen a lot of people use her a lot more. Just in general, right? So it is what it is. Curie, I'm gonna put in Rapunzel. I'm gonna put in sub meta. I feel like she's fallen off a tad bit. I feel like she's really more popular in PvP compared to PvE, where if you asked me a year ago, she was broken in both of them, right? And I'm not saying she's not broken in PvE anymore, but people are replacing her as the go-to healer in PvE because of all the new healers we have. Red Hood is a meta character. Ray is a sub meta character. She's just good with fire characters. This Ray is not. Ren is a good character. I don't think many people still use her, but she is very good when I think yeah, no, if they're not being used, they're going into good usable rip. If they're being used, they're in sub meta, right? That's what I'm saying. Rosanna, usable PvP. Summer Rosanna, I would say sub meta. A lot of people do use sustain. Rupee is usable, right? She's a good support as a burst 2, but again, with Crown in the game, it's burst 2 is the one thing that you don't need to be switching out unless you're specifically using multiple different teams. Other than that, no, you're useless, and you're the same thing as Rosanna. Sakura and Rosanna go together, both sub meta for sustain teams. Sakura is useless. Scarlet Black Shadow is a meta character, one of the strongest DPSs in the game, and still a go-to pick, especially with Trina's release. This OG Scarlet, she would have been in sub meta or even good before. She's right back on top in meta because of Trina, which is crazy. Signal, no. Sin, no. Snow White is still sub meta for bosses. People, of course, still use her for bosses. Other than that, no. Free to play Snow White is usable. People do use her if they don't really have many other options, but other than that, no. I will put Bunny Soda in sub meta just because she is still usable for just general burst 3 usage. That's the truth. Regular Soda, not so much. Celine, not so much. Sugar, not so much. Tia is sub meta. People are using Tia again, especially since now because of favorite item Helm, people aren't using Crown and Nog anymore. They're just putting Tia and Naga back together like they should have been from the jump. Tove is sub meta. She's been like, she's a go-to. Like, I'm sorry, Shotgun team is being used a lot more lately, and Tove is a staple for that team. Trani is usable. She's a rip. I'm sorry, I don't care. Vesti, I'm gonna put rip. I'm gonna put you rip. I'm gonna put you in good volume. Like, you're still a good burst 1 go like character, but I'm not like a go-to. No. That's why I'm gonna put in good. People do use her for the Pierce team, especially with Grave and Red Hood. Other than that, not much. So I'm gonna just put her in usable if that's the case. Grave is a sub meta character. I don't feel like many people use Grave. Like, I even made a video saying not many people use Grave, not many people talk about Grave, and everybody literally was like, yeah, you're right. That many people just don't use her. Free to play Rapunzel, I'm gonna put in Rip, like no value whatsoever. Cinderella is like the most meta character in the game still. Phantom, I'm putting Phantom in good. I'm putting Romani in Rip. I'm putting Rouge in meta because people still use Rouge with Cinderella. I'm putting Quincy in sub meta. Like, Quincy is a go-to water DPS, especially with Brady and Ludmilla and even the Winter Guillotine. They're all sub meta for water. Phantom is a good water DPS, and I do feel like people use her, but I feel like it's unfair. I'm gonna put her in sub meta. You guys let me know down below in the comments about that one. Flora, I'm gonna put it usable. People don't use her, so people don't use her because they don't have to, but she is not that bad. Like, she's not ripped. You can use her and get something out of her. I will put this Winter Maiden meta. You're one of the most meta characters in the game. Winter Maiden is the same thing as Cinderella, just like a bit weaker. And then Rappy Red Hood is just like everything in the game. And then wherever you two go, like, yeah, Quincy, Phantom, and Guillotine are the same. Asuka is sub meta. She's actually meta for like Anomaly Interception. These two are meta now. Before, not so much. They're definitely meta now with Brady. And then even what they were using before, which I would have put them in some meta before, but not so much. Mana, I will put in meta, even though she is on meta. And actually, I use Mana personally. I do use Mana everywhere. Her revive is fantastic. But in terms of just general usage, I'm pretty sure everybody's using Mana in Anomaly Interception. So, and that's very important to this game. Ray is sub meta, but people are actually using her as a solo DPS as well, so I could put her in meta. Trina, I'm gonna put in sub meta. Like, people are not using Trina unless they're using this Scarlet, but I wouldn't say she's meta. Now, when we come to the favorite, Brady, let's just go to Brady as well. I'm gonna put Brady in sub meta. I'm gonna put her in good. I don't think people are gonna be using Brady. I think people like Brady from her initial release because she was a brand new character, but I generally don't think people are gonna use her, so I'm gonna put her in good. Now, for favorite item characters, I'm just gonna rank this without even having to say. You're Rip. You're usable. Nothing too crazy. You're usable. You're Rip, actually. I'm sorry. You are sub meta. Like, this favorite item, Laplace is goated. Favorite item, Helm is meta. Milk, your Rip. Miranda, probably usable, but other than that, I haven't tested that on myself, so I can't really say. Exia, I will put in good. I think she's a good burst 1 option, especially for electric teams. And then same thing goes for Viper. Sustain teams, and I'm going to put Viper in good for sustain teams, and then obviously Exia in good for electric teams. But you guys let me know. Quite the long video. Let me know if you guys agree with me, if you don't agree with me. This is meta, some meta, good, usable, and rip. If you guys agree, let me know. If you don't agree, let me know who you would move. Let me know who you would put in what tier and what else. Yeah, and if you guys want a PvP version of this next month, let me know. It's your boy Zxous. I'm out. Peace.